the Lethal Lottery, Battle Bowl.
Battle Bowls have not been good.
Pretty much WCW tournament from like 1990 to like 1994. Probably not very good. TNA probably had some pretty shitty ones too.
There was a lot of shitty TNA ones that I just didn't want to do.
So TNA.
Oh, it is that time of the evening again, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, well, it is time. That music means it is time to stop your creating that wrestler. Save it. Go ahead and save it and listen
dinner
to
time.
us. It's dinner. It is time for the curtain call. Let's talk a little bit. You were at WrestleMania.
I was.
/ New York / Wrestling Mecca.
It was a lot.
Was it more than it was last time we went to New York for?
Yes.
But didn't you do more than we did?
We did a lot more.
Although I guess we
did Hall of Fame.
We did Hall of Fame
and WrestleMania,
Ring of Honor and WrestleMania.
Right.
But you did like
as soon as we landed,
you didn't do Hall of Fame.
Did not, because that was the night of G1.
More important.
Yes, G1 Supercard. My first live wrestling show in Madison Square Garden.
What's the crowd like?
Hot all night long. There was like the only low point really was the women's match. I guess. Well, the other one was on a pre-show. I want to say that may have been like the only lull. Bully Ray match they weren't too into either.
Yeah, because it was really fucking long.
Yeah. Wait, the show?
No, that match.
Oh, that match.
Because it was like a match, and then it turned into like a tag match.
Right, turned into a 6-man.
Yeah, so like I remember being like, "Is this over yet?"
Right. I think the crowd was.
I think that was. I felt like the crowd was pretty dead for it too. What was the hottest crowd that weekend?
It had to have been that one. Like the NXT crowd was hot Friday night, but I don't like it was still kind of an NXT crowd.
Yeah,
it wasn't because I mean obviously a lot of fans from around the world and like hardcore marks like ourselves do in fact watch NXT, but like you knew that the G1 Supercard was Mark Central.
Oh yeah, like I almost feel like the people that came to WrestleMania, especially the ones that came from far away, are like, oh, I can also go see New Japan?
Right.
Great.
And Ring of Honor, do this one show? Yeah, it was insane. The Rev Pro show was a lot of fun. I got to see Taguchi, which I was super excited about. He faced Rocky Romero. Zack Sabre Jr. tagged with Minoru Suzuki against Will Ospreay, where Suzuki broke Ospreay's nose 5 minutes in the match. And he kept wrestling. And he teamed with Tanahashi. So that match was so good. I knew I needed to go to that show because I knew Suzuki didn't have an actual match on the Ring of Honor show. So I wanted to see him actually wrestle. And I was not disappointed.
I mean, speaking of you got to see the great fucking Muda.
Yes. So as a child, there was 2 Japanese legends that I always wanted to see before I die or before they die or retire. It was Jushin Thunder Liger, which I saw him about 5 or 6 years ago, and it blew my fucking mind.
When I saw him for the first time, it also blew my mind.
And I was like, okay, I have to see Great Muta. He's the only one left, and I don't ever really hear about him wrestling in America. It's usually always in Japan. And then sure enough, his music gets up, it starts, and I jump out of my seat. I'm losing my shit. I'm like, no fucking way, it's the Great Muta.
And then it came down to what we thought was
Great Muta
and Jushin Liger, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Right.
This is fucking crazy.
I got both guys I've ever wanted to see in my entire life at one ring at one time, and they're facing each other.
I mean, and then
Kenny King ruined all
and that's
that.
fine. It works. It works in the for Ring of Honor, and it actually gets Kenny King so much fucking heat.
Plus, I didn't think either one of those guys was going to get a title match. Not that I would complain either way, but
I really love Great Muta.
Yes.
You can tell he's a 60-year-old man.
Yes. He was not doing the Muta Springs.
No,
he was not really
and
leaving
that's
his
fine.
feet. Yes.
It's okay. But I was really excited just to have that moment, and I was like, man, like, how crazy awesome is it
that crowd got so hot for that.
I bet they did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because, like, first off, they got pretty hot for Jushin Thunder Liger.
Right.
Although I think he was announced, wasn't he?
He was announced, but everyone still got super excited.
But
and then
Muta
Suzuki,
was not announced.
Yeah, when Suzuki was number 2, that crowd could not have been louder. Like, Kenny King came out first, and everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. And then number 2, he was it. People lost their shit. They were so excited.
It was the Honor Rumble was like it almost felt like as fun as a Royal Rumble.
Yes, it did feel that way
because of the fun entries and like the like. I wish I know that like they want to have the guys get over in the Royal Rumble, like NXT guys. I would rather them bring back a one shot like Rob Van Dam,
right,
or like a one shot like person like that you don't see. Because
like one man gang, maybe.
That's fun.
Yeah,
it's so fun, and because like honestly, like there are in any given year there are literally only like 6 guys who can like win this Royal Rumble. Okay, so like I think that the Ring of Honor did a really great job with that.
I think they did as well, and of course Kenny King won it. So and then that entire night, like the Okada match, people weren't sure who was going to win. Is Jay White going over? Is Okada going over? And then as soon as Okada actually finally did go over, that place was deafening loud. And it was still late when that happened, so we were all having fun. WrestleMania, it was really nice weather. Like some people were a little chilly at certain points.
What was like the temperature like?
It was in the 50s, maybe.
I think that was a little warmer than it was whenever we.
Yeah, it wasn't as that bad. I didn't have 3 layers on, so
yeah, I remember having like 2 jackets on when we went in for 29, and I had to wrap a shirt that my wife bought around my face like a scarf.
We thought it might rain, but it didn't rain on us.
It held off and rained on all those people that got stranded.
as soon as that botched ending at the...
But I heard it wasn't botched. I heard it was...
It looked botched.
I heard it was Ronda Rousey that botched it.
Not a shock. Yeah. As soon as Becky Lynch won, Eric and I bolted down the rampway all the way down to the train because we were not fucking around. We were getting to that train and we were getting out of there.
That's good because a lot of people did not.
Yeah, they were out in the rain and cold for 2 hours.
Yeah, until like because apparently they said
they had 4 trains though.
But they said the WWE was like, oh yeah, the show will be over by like 11.
Liars.
And it was not over by
not
11.
at any point.
I think they even said it was gonna be over by like 10:30. And so like when they didn't tell like the transit authority until
it was too late.
Like until the show had started, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna be like really late. And they're like, oh, thank you, because now we have to fucking like get people to come in and like rearrange our schedule. And so, oh well.
Yeah. I mean, that was the only real issue. I think we stayed up in the northern part of New York City. Probably wanted to stay in the southern part if we do it again when they do it again in New York City. So that was the only problem
because
really we
had to like get down to everything.
Right, we had to go down all the subways, try to figure out the subway system. The one subway stop that we normally got dropped off at close to the hotel was doing construction Saturday, so it didn't work out very well. But the entire weekend was wrestling wise was fantastic. I nothing to complain about.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what is up on the pro wrestling calendar?
April 27th, we did talk about it already, but the NWA Ring of Honor
Rocket Cup
from Concord, North Kakalaki. So tag teams from NWA, CMLL, New Japan, Ring of Honor will go have 3 matches and be the first winner in over 20 years. That's a long time. The next night, April 28th, Impact Wrestling Rebellion from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That main event is Johnny...
Is it a pay-per-view?
Yeah. Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage is a heel now, though. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Johnny Impact's a heel.
I'm pretty sure Johnny Impact is a heel. If Brian Cage is a heel, then they turn Johnny Impact heel, too, and
immediately.
That sucks.
May 3rd, we have WWE Blood Money 3, Dismember in the Desert.
That's not the official name, is it?
No, Anarchy in Arabia?
That's a terrible. Is that really what it's called?
The Kingdom of Slam.
What's it really called?
They don't have a name.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving them names. I'm helping you. You're welcome.
I was like, what's going on here? They can't. These are all terrible names. Like Vince would never sign off on this.
Dismember in the Desert. They wouldn't do that.
They would not.
Oh, well, okay. And then May 10th. Not May 10th. I'm sorry. May 11th or 12th. It's Money in the Bank.
One of those days.
I knew you're gonna hear from us beforehand, so I didn't put it on there. However, if you do want to hit us up on the social media, you can do so. Twitter, couple of marks, the number 1, because we're the number 1 couple of marks. Instagram, you can hit us up at couple of marks. Facebook, it is a couple of marks. Email is a couple of pro wrestling marks at gmail.com, and our website, a couple of marks.com.
So I thank you everyone for listening to the show this week. Next
Next time.
Next time. Thank you. I was about to say next week, and I was like, it will not be next week.
Nope, not next week.
We are going to talk about Money in the Bank.
The match, the event, CM Punk,
John Cena, kisses.
Jack Swagger taking 5 minutes to take it off.
Probably not Jack Swagger.
Well, I mean, we mentioned that part. The slowest detachment of the briefcase goes to Jack Swagger. Spoiler alert already. We're giving awards.
That's preview of next week. I know that's what you wanted to hear. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Keep marking out.
Keep marking out.